types of geo. We have GeoQ, which right now is the most popular repository that we have on GitHub. Mr. Geo, Elastic Geo, GeoWave. We have an anti-piracy app that's not for anti-piracy of software. It's actually for pirates with an eye patch. You can download that. So anyway, you can see we're starting to move in a direction of open source. And we're trying to be a little bit more transparent by posting our code back out for the world to use. So I'll move to the talking points real quick, and I'm going to try and run through this so we can get more to a live demo and show you what we can do. Again, we're trying to be more transparent. We've been on seeing a video on CNN, we briefed the White House, yada, yada, yada. We're participating with a lot of folks, the White House, FEMA, Huntsville Civil Patrol, some universities. And after that last briefing, I think we need to definitely talk more about how we can integrate in the future. One of the big things here is that we've been implementing a lot of ideas from people who have been contacting us through GitHub and also our own NGA community. So, number one, we realized with an NGA that we weren't doing things as efficiently as possible. We also know that the skies are going to darken with the amount of bunnies or satellites that are going to be flying overhead. That, along with the UAVs and all the other sources of imagery, is just going to be an exponential growth in the amount of data that we're going to have to look through. So in order to do that, we need to be more efficient. And so we took a look and we created within GeoQ a common workflow that everyone can follow. Crowdsourcing. You know, you're looking at me saying, but OpenStreetMaps and HOT, we've been doing this for forever. For NGA, it's kind of a new idea. And so we're trying to take some of the lessons that we've learned from watching your group, and hopefully we can bring that back in and make our team even more efficient. And maybe in the future here, we can start working together as one team. That's my hope, that's my goal, that's where I'm trying to get to. Image versus area. One of the biggest problems we have is that people focus on the image. And with a lot of the imagery, you know that there's overlap, so it can get aligned and be corrected. Well, when we have two images that are next to one another, we have analysts who are wasting their time because they're viewing the same area and analyzing it twice. So what we did in GeoQ, just like the tasking manager, is we broke up the areas geographically. That way we're reducing that imagery overlap problem. Let's see, common structured observations. Who was talking about that earlier today? One of the other discussions. Again, when we are starting to annotate on a map and we're starting to put structures, points, lines, polygons, what we call them, how we define them, needs to be common, otherwise the data just becomes junk. So we're exposing dynamic content in real time, rapidly integrating new data sources, trying to make it easy and intuitive. Scroll down a little bit. Another piece that we're working on, and I firmly believe in, I'm kind of a metrics geek, is the business analytics piece. So in order to design the software better, and in order to train the people better, I'm trying to analyze the workflow and analyze every piece through it, and the flow itself and how long it's taking. So we have lots of business analytics built into GeoQ. I can tell you, again, we talked about percent completion, that's one of the pieces that we do, but I also can tell you how many minutes or how many hours or how many seconds it's taking to complete cells. I can do then estimations on how many more people we need if we want to be done by a certain time. Gamification, my favorite topic. If you were in the other room when I was over there, I mentioned that. It's one of my little So it works for my kids, works for me when I'm out running and I'm trying to get the next badge. Gamification can work. Not only does it work from the standpoint of trying to push people to work harder, longer, faster, better, but now I can start to quantify and qualify tradecraft. So if I know that if Pierre has a level 3 tornado assessment badge with 200 points, I now can make him a QA/QC. And when Ray comes in and I don't have a tornado badge, he has to first of all take the training, which we're working out online using edX, and then he will come in under Pierre's tutelage in order to make sure that the work he's doing is correct. Changing the collaboration model. So in the past, we've spent a lot of time with NGA taking the lead for disaster events. We want to change all that. We want to federate out the workload. Again, my hope is that soon we can be working with you in real time, bringing our crowd of people to your crowd so we can really crowdsource. Transcending legal and policy hurdles. I'm not going to talk that too much, but since we're an intelligence agency and a DoD agency, there's certain restrictions. And again, if we can get others to start taking the lead, we can transcend those issues and we can start to let the locals, the states, and some of the other government agencies run these for themselves. And then again, we can jump in and be part of the crowd. And then we don't have some of the policy and legal restriction hurdles. Way forward. This, by the way, you can see it's out on GitHub if you want to see, and the links and everything's are all hooked up. You can see that later. We're looking for folks to join us, to integrate our open source tools or integrate with their open source tools. Join us on GitHub. You can pull our code, use it as you wish. One of my reasons for doing this project is that I want to give industry and everyone else, anyone else, our lessons learned. We keep going through crisis events over and over again. I was saying it's Groundhog's Day for us. We've been doing it a long time. And so we're trying to hand out a lot of these lessons learned within our software packages. You can pull the code, or if you want, you can use GitHub to have further discussions.
And just one thing, I've already done a few ideas from people here, and we basically go through and we put all of our issues in GitHub. Any new ideas, a lot of the things that I just heard in the brief, we're going to go in and add these as issues, and then twice a week, all of our meetings on developing this, we have online, and we just prioritize things on GitHub. And then whatever new programmers show up or whatever new resources we have them go and start at the top. Whatever's critical, whatever Ray thinks is critical, we work on that first, and we work down the stack, and whatever's high, then medium, and so on. So anybody that submits issues, we're looking for those to help us prioritize what we should be working on and changing.
So let's go ahead and show them a little bit. You want to
show very quickly the event pages?
Go ahead.
So again, whenever Department of State or FEMA or another U.S. government organization asks for help on disaster response issues, usually NGA gets tasked to provide products to make resources to go in and do damage assessment work. This is one of the big tools, event pages, that we use to track this. We've used this on, I guess this is our 173rd either real world disaster or exercise that we've used this on. So we've been using this for a number of years. Many users and many real-time operational uses of this. This page takes in each of these dots here. We'll show you what they actually look like in GeoQ in a second. But this is a real-time feed of digital globe imagery of all the actual damage and destroyed houses that we've found within Nepal right now. So this is our real-world view of the situation, what we're producing in our products that go out to the world on this.
So this is our common operational picture, a lot of people like to call it. This is the one that we've used, is successful. All this code is available on GitHub. So you can go out and crank up your own. And also some of the embedded, the other applications like the RFI tool.
So if somebody on the ground has a request for information, or a congressman says, I really need to know what's going on here, or somebody in the Army says, I really need to know this because our unit's going here, that comes in as a request for information. That task gets routed around through this request for information widget, and then shows up here. One of our image analysts do the analysis, create a product, and then that product gets dropped on the map up here, which can then be used and searched on by anybody. So we can track all those things. These products also show up here, so I can search through all these products. All the ones that are not for official use only, so all these unclassified ones, are also pushed out onto the web. Some of you are probably looking at a lot of those, but you can see all of our work. And what's nice is once you're in this tool, you can search for things. I could search and say, just show me all the things that are shaped maps. I could search on tags and do a lot of things that way. I can also go through and graph all these things on the timeline. So when I search for things that shape maps came up, I could go through and remove that search and then go back and see all the events on the timeline. And as Ray said, he likes to really look at the data on things on the timeline.
So Jay and I argue over whose idea it was, and I say it was my idea, but he said it was his. So he's the programmer, he wins. But this has been really cool to watch. So it all does is measure the pace of the event, and as things unfold, as they pop up onto this event page. And so roughly you can start to watch patterns form. So as a tornado hits, you see this nice peak. It's a nice bell curve.